Is your cultural experience standing in the way of your human experience? What if what we experienced and learned from our cultural background and environment growing up, and even now as we are as adults that we've ascribed to define our identity through, is actually what's standing in the way of us defining the healthiest versions of love and the healthiest version of our humanity? I know for me, growing up in certain atmospheres and having certain experiences within my cultural sphere, I tried to wear a mask for something that actually didn't fit who Jeremy was. And instead of being barred and instead of allowing myself to be imprisoned by cultural expectations and cultural norms that were toxicity for me being who I was, I got curious and started asking myself questions. Well, what does it mean for Jeremy to be Black to me? And I realized that as I was standing in the rooms with other people that was living out these stereotypes and norms to celebrate their cultural experience, I started realizing that none of those cultural experiences or norms actually felt celebratory to me. And it actually didn't make me less Black, it just made me more me. What if we went into relationships and started thinking about how what we saw culturally with our family structures and dynamics and paradigms of how we saw our parents interact, that we don't have to ascribe that to our experience, where we can go back and redefine what love is. We can go back to God and say, who do you say I am if you are the one who made me? That my culture didn't make me, my culture was taught to me. Cast away all of the toxic norms and all the toxic belief systems that we have attached to our cultural experience, and it doesn't actually have to dehumanize our human experience. In fact, our culture and our humanity are actually supposed to be married together because it's the story that we tell to the world around us that as we go through the cultural thresholds that celebrates what and who we are, that it doesn't actually leave out the human part. It actually brings it into the story as well. What if we could go back and start to ask different questions and get curious? In my curriculum, Human by Design, this is what we navigate together. That we get to go and relook at the lenses of what we experienced growing up and revisit the things that we were told to practice. And we can be able to question and challenge the thoughts that we were told to behold and believe by that actually doesn't serve us life at all. If anything, it withholds us from it. How many lenses have we adopted from passed down traditional belief systems because of the skin color or because of the cultural traditions that we grew up and were inherited into that is holding us back from living in a more diverse and unified and more vulnerable world where we get to ask and learn about other people's experiences instead of